Hello everyone, this is Keertana, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce. Today I'm here to present a lecture series on the subject Statistics for Social Research on the topic Test of Hypothesis. So before that, we can see what is hypothesis. So hypothesis testing can be defined as the assumption that is made on some evidence. So this is the initial point of any investigation that translates the research questions into predictions. So it includes components like variable, population, and the relationship between the variables. A research hypothesis is used to test the relationship between two or more variables. So hypothesis, simply we can say hypothesis is an prediction which is easily helpful to predict the relationship between population and whomsoever. So it involves setting up a null hypothesis and an alternative hypothesis. So these two type hypotheses will be mutually exclusive. So this means that if the null hypothesis is true, then the alternative hypothesis is false, or it is vice versa. An example of hypothesis testing is a setting up a test to check if a new medicine works on a disease in a more efficient manner. So hypothesis normally it is a prediction, so which will be experiment whether it is meaningful or not. Next, we can see what are the types of hypothesis. Before that, so we are repeating that hypothesis. So where we can source the hypothesis. So there will be a resemblance between the phenomena, which is there. If there is any resemblance between the previous variable, we can use it as then it will be an observation from past studies, present day experiences, and from the competitors, also from scientific theories, general patterns that influence the thinking process of people. So here all we can source the hypothesis. So next is what are the types of hypothesis. So there are six forms of hypothesis, and they are simple hypothesis, complex hypothesis, directional hypothesis, non-directional hypothesis, null hypothesis, and associative and causal hypothesis. So first is simple hypothesis. It shows a relationship between one dependent variable and a single independent variable. So simple hypothesis in the sense one dependent variable and a single independent variable. For example, if you eat more vegetables, you will lose weight faster. Here, eating more vegetables is an independent variable, while losing weight is the dependent variable. So you can see the relationship, right? If you eat more vegetables, you will lose the weight faster. So more vegetable is an independent variable, and losing weight is the dependent variable, which is if you eat, you will lose the weight easy. Okay. Next is complex hypothesis. It shows the relationship between two or more dependent variable and two or more independent variable. So complex in this simple in the sense one independent variable and one dependent variable and one single independent variable. But in complex hypothesis, it shows the relationship between two or more dependent variable and two or more independent variable. For example, eating more vegetables and fruits leads to weight loss, glowing skin, and reduce risk of many diseases such as heart disease. So, eating more vegetables and fruits leads to weight loss. And glowing skin. So, this is an independent variable and also reduces the risk of many diseases like heart disease. So, this is independent variable. Next is directional hypothesis. It shows a researcher is intellectual and committed to a particular outcome. The relationship between two variables can predict its nature. For example, children aged 4 years eating proper food over a 5-year period or having higher IQ level than children not having a proper meal. So this shows the effect and direction of the effect. So which is directional hypothesis in the sense if the children who eat 5 year of period with the proper food meal, they having the higher IQ level related to the children who not eat the proper meal have a low level of IQ. So this actually shows the effect of the children's IQ level, also the direction of the effect, which the children affected lot because the proper meal haven't taken. Next is non-directional hypothesis. It is used. It is used when the like a no theory involved. It is a statement that a relationship exists between two variables without predicting the exact nature, that is direction of the relationship. So here we cannot predict or we cannot assumption what is going to happen. So it is a non-directional. So we cannot direct the relationship. Next is null hypothesis. So we have seen in the meaning, right? So null hypothesis is very particularly mentioned. It provides a statement which is contrary to the hypothesis. It is a negative statement and there is a no relationship between independent or dependent variable. The hypothesis symbol is a HO. Okay, so the null hypothesis is zero because it provides a negative statement, which is there is a no relationship between independent and dependent variables. So last one is associative and casual hypothesis. So associative hypothesis occurs when there is a change in one variable resulting in a change in other variable, whereas casual hypothesis propose a cause and effect interaction between two or more variables. So these are the six hypotheses. One is simple, second one is complex, third one is directional, fourth one is non-directional, fifth one is null hypothesis, and sixth one is associative and casual hypothesis. We'll summarize it. Simple hypothesis in the sense one dependent variable and a single independent variable, which is one dependent and one independent. So this equally matches. While in complex hypothesis, two variable will be dependent or two variable will be independent. There will be two or more, but there should be an two dependent or two independent. Next, directional hypothesis. So directional hypothesis always predict it directly where the relationship between the variables, but in non-directional hypothesis we cannot predict the exact scenario between the variables. So null hypothesis already we have known, null in the sense negative. And associative and casual hypothesis. So associative hypothesis occurs when one variable resulting in change of another variable. So hope this content was clearly explained. Next is characteristics of hypothesis. So, what are the characteristics? Before that, how hypothesis is functioning. So, hypothesis helps in making an observation and experiments possible. So, we have seen the types. And next is it becomes the starting point of the investigation. Next, hypothesis helps in verifying the observations. So, it helps in directing the inquiries into the right direction. So next we can see characteristics of hypothesis. So first point is clarity and precision. So a good hypothesis should be clearly stated and free from ambiguity. This ensures that understandable and reliable for research. So actually our first point is hypothesis should be clear and precise to consider to be reliable. And the second one is relationship between variables. That is, if the hypothesis involves two or more variables, it should be clearly define the relationship. And third point is the hypothesis must be specific and should have scope for conducting more tests. So hypothesis should focuses on a specific issue and should be formulated in a way that allows for testing through research or experiments. So, fourth is the way of explanation of the hypothesis must be very simple, and it should also be understood that simplicity of the hypothesis is not related to its significance. So, hypothesis should be stated in simple and understandable manner. Simplicity does not mean lack of depth or importance. A simple hypothesis it can be still be highly sufficient. So hypothesis, kindly remember this, hypothesis is a tool for guiding research but not for a conclusion. So in overall, we'll summarize it as hypothesis is a tool to just predicting the future to making the decision, but it is not a final or a conclusion. Hope the video was useful. Thank you.